It's time once again to delve into the world of the unusual people who record themselves and post the footage online, usually trying to make some sort of a point, but with such a lack of self-awareness they don't realise that they look absolutely ghastly. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to People Being Awful Part 28. Let's kick off with a bit of insight from the woke and progressive left.
Making fun of Republican makeup is not girl-on-girl crime because that implies that conservative women and conservative people are people, which obviously they are not.
Yes, anyone who voted differently to that woman, in her opinion, they are less than human. They're not real people. They are othered, dehumanized. That's the way that extremists think. The same way that terrorists, dictators and despots, that's their mindset, to dehumanize and other people who don't align with their agenda. And it's nice to see that in 2025, in an increasingly divided Western society, the far left are now adopting the mindset of the Khmer Rouge. Next up,
Lock on my Hulu, so I can't watch Family Guy anymore because it gives me violent thoughts.
that's a new one. I've watched Family Guy many times. The last few series haven't been as good as the older episodes because they've toned it down a bit. That's why forever I am Team South Park. Yet I've never watched any animated comedy and suddenly had violent thoughts. And I think that person's got more going on than just watching Family Guy. I mean, smashing one's own head with one's own hands and then calling out for Peter and Lois. Yeah, there's something underneath that. That doesn't paint that person in a good light. And again, they've posted that of their own free will. It's people like that that mean the aliens will never visit us. Moving on, let's have someone explaining gender for a fucking change.
Like, some idea that I have, like, control over this. Like, it's not based on my mood or whatever. It's like, I just wake up and I go, oh. And, like, or later in the day, I'll go, oh. Like a mood shift, I guess, if you want to relate it to moods. Like, I see it more as a roller coaster. Like, I don't know when the next turn is. I'm here for the ride.
Again, this is new. Changing gender depending on mood. What does that even mean? Is it just lazy stereotypes? Oh look, there's a kitten. I feel so happy. Now I'm a woman. Oh, I can hear a pneumatic drill. Now I'm a man. And given that that's a man dressing as a woman, it's confusing anyway. Pick a fucking lane, mate. What will be next if the wind changes or a black cat crosses your path? That's now a different gender. To me, it sounds like he's confusing gender with just experiencing different emotions. And talking of emotions, seamless segue, last week was Valentine's Day.
So, I am charging $2,000 for a 30-minute Valentine's date with me. I am charging. I'm not paying. I am charging you for a 30-minute Valentine's Day. It's $2,000 for a 30-minute Valentine's date. It's got to be a sit-down restaurant. It has to be an expensive restaurant. And you're paying for it. You have to bring a gift. And it's only 30 minutes long. It's $2,000. You pay for dinner, gift, and it only is 30 minutes long. That's right. And it cannot be no McDonald's. Who is going to be my Valentine's date? I know y'all are out there. I've already got my evening just about booked up. I only have 10 more spots to go. So who's going to do it? I'm going to be your Valentine's for today. Now we have all day tomorrow booked, not booked up, but available. So that's a $3,000 date for Valentine's special. I usually charge $10,000 for a Valentine's special.
It's worth remembering that the initials for Valentine's Day are VD. That chap is a channel regular, an extremely confused man who thinks he's a woman. I mean, the beard is a bit of a giveaway. And for God's sake, man, will you wash your fucking hair and tidy up? Why do so many cross-dressers live in utter squalor? Because clearly that chap can afford a cleaner. $2,000 for a 30-minute date. So $2,000 to spend half an hour in the company of a deranged transvestite with other expenses to follow. He said a sit-down restaurant. I don't think I've ever been to a restaurant that didn't have chairs, and an expensive restaurant. What high-end establishment is going to admit him? And even if they did, they wouldn't put him in the fucking window. As for a gift, I think I would bring him a mirror and say, man, look at yourself. And he calls it valentines. And I know there are people out there with more money than sense. But for someone to take him up on that offer, that would be loads of money and no grip on reality. And he's only got 10 slots left. I'm guessing that's 10 out of 10. And he usually charges 10 grand? I suspect our new friend is being economical with the truth. But let's stick with restaurants.
That you can go into any business and specifically request people who are allies. I just did it. I'm at a Mexican restaurant. And I said, hey, I would like to specifically request to be set with somebody who is LGBTQ or trans positive, because that's how I'm spending my money today. And if they say, oh, I don't think we have anybody like that, you can leave. You're allowed to do that. This is how I'm spending my money. I'm gonna tip fat, because I used to be a waitress, and it's just me. I'm gonna tip fat. And, you know, allyship is cool. Anyway, I just want you to know you can do that. You can also walk out if they're like playing Fox News or showing Trump. You can just, whoop, you can just walk right out. You're allowed to do that. They can't stop you. There's nothing you need there anyway. Do you really want to be around those people and that vibe? Do you want to eat with that kind of energy going on in the air? Gross. Have a great day.
Well, wasn't she fucking delightful? I'm guessing her mother didn't teach her not to speak with your mouth full because that's rude. Maybe that's why so many men enjoy oral sex. If nothing else, it's just the peace and quiet. Anyway, I'm putting myself in the position of a restaurant owner. Quasimodo from the previous clip, he's sat in the corner with a long queue of men just throwing money at him, and then she walks in and demands a server who is trans-positive or an ally. To which I would ask her, if I have a server with those qualities, how will that affect their ability to bring you your food? And she's right, the customer can just leave, but the owner also has the ability to refuse service. She can just be kicked out. Of course, a restaurant owner won't actually do that because within minutes, the same person, she'd be on TikTok or X recording a video, and with half an hour, a load of overweight people with greasy skin and blue hair would burn the place to the ground. Actually, no, she won't have an X account. She'll be on Blue Sky, which, if you haven't tried it yet, it's like Twitter for half-wits and nonces. Allegedly. And she used to be a waitress. So even with that experience, she's still opting to be an obnoxious customer. So clearly, she isn't an ally of other waiting staff. And this thing that if they're showing Fox News or there's something about Donald Trump on the TVs, you can just leave. How petty do you have to be? Because it might not be Fox News, it could just be the news and there's a picture of the president. The flip side of this, of course, is that people running restaurants in that area now know if you leave Fox News on 24/7 and have a massive portrait of the president, fuckers like that will never come into your business. One clip left, and this truly is someone being awful. So we hear a lot from the woke progressive left about Islamophobia, yet that was a Muslim gentleman openly vandalising St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, Rome. Someone disrespecting Christianity where the head of the Catholic Church lives. It's utterly fucking disgusting. The only upside is that the Swiss Guard will have kicked the living shit out of the bloke, because they do not fuck about. Last time I was at the Vatican, there was a group of Canadian tourists and the whole lot got thrown out because one of them tried to take a selfie in the Sistine Chapel. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please share this video because I want to get my viewer numbers up. That sounds a bit arrogant, but it's true, and as ever, thanks for watching. In that woman's opinion, anyone who didn't vote the same way that she did is less than human. Lesser than her and her ilk. Fuck that up. So, in that woman's opinion, anyone who voted differently to her in the elections is less than human. Oh fuck, now I've got something in my throat. Yes, that's a new one. I just stood in a fucking puddle. That's a new one. I've watched Family Guy many times. Although the last two series haven't been as good. The last two series haven't been as good because they've got all fucking woke. Ruined it. Worth remembering that the initials for Valentine's Day are VD. That gentleman is something of a channel regular. He's an extremely confused chap who thinks that he's a woman. Let's be honest, that bloke looks like... When the angels up in heaven made him, it was 4:45 on a Friday and the quality control bloke had gone home. Start again. Oh, now the fucking wind's back up.